This is incredible. I am absolutely honored to be here with you guys. I just can't believe this, the amount of women that are in here. I'm actually quite speechless, to be honest. Well, not 100% speechless, because I still have something to say to you guys, right? I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you know someone that is different than you? How many of you work with, live with, or used to live with someone that's different than you? How many of you have tried to change that person that's different than you? And how has that worked out for you? Usually not really good. I want to share with you a concept that's been around for over 2,000 years, going way back to the Greek philosophers. And that's why you're going to see the names up there as the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholy, and the phlegmatic. But in the recent years, we've added a modern-day adjective so that people can understand it. It is the popular sanguine, the powerful choleric, the perfect melancholy, and the peaceful phlegmatic. Now, just so you know, my personality is the choleric sanguine, so we are going to do things my way, and we're going to have fun today. I want to explain to you, introduce you to the four personalities. Now, your sanguine personality, okay, the top two personalities to begin with, the sanguine and the choleric, they're your extroverted personalities. Okay, the melancholy and the phlegmatic, they're your introverted personalities. Now, the sanguine is your fun-loving, talkative, life of the party, energized, happy, just that kind of a person, right? The powerful choleric, they are driven. They are not ones to get discouraged. They are focused. They are constantly working. If you want something done, get a choleric to do it, and it'll get done. Now, if you go to your melancholy, your perfect melancholy, and they are deep and thoughtful. They're sensitive to others. They're very analytical. They like graphs and charts and Excel. I tell you, I like what it can do. I just don't like doing it. Holy smokes. And then last but not least, we have the peaceful phlegmatic. They are easygoing, relaxed, don't want to rock the boat, don't want to cause any strife for anybody. And they are just your all-around easygoing type of personality. Now, you can imagine, right? Actually, the opposites, the popular sanguine and the melancholy, are the complete opposites. Okay, and the choleric and the phlegmatic are the other complete opposites. So I want you to keep that in mind. Now, so often I hear people say, when they've done a personality test, and if you've done others, Myers-Briggs, colors, discs, whatever you've done, just try and relate it to this system that I'm talking about today. So often I hear people say, well, I'm this, and I'm a choleric, and I'm a green, or I'm this, I'm that. You know what? I'm here today to tell you, it's good to know what you are, but that's not what this is about. It really isn't. It's about knowing who you are, and you are, and you are, and you are. That's what I want to do. I want to understand who the people in my life are, the people, especially the people that I work with. You know, really, the people in your life, they're going to love you anyway. But the people that you work with, they don't have to love you. So you got to do your best to try and understand them and get along with them, especially since you spend most of your time with them, to be honest. This isn't about labeling anybody. This isn't putting anybody in a box. But what's funny is I find that people label people anyway. They really do. Oh, she is so lazy. Or she just never stops talking. She is so demanding. So you're labeling these people anyway, which it might be true. They might be lazy, and they might be demanding. But have you actually taken the time to understand that's just part of their personality and how to deal with them? I want to give you some visible clues, because let's face it, you're not going to walk up to somebody, say, "Excuse me, I don't understand you. Can you please take this personality test so we can get along?" That's not going to happen, right? So they were very smart in designing some physical, some visible clues. So now if you see the sanguine, they are happy and bubbly and they talk. Yes, they talk. They do talk. Their life is very open, as is their mouth. Their life is also very open. You can meet a sanguine, and in 10 minutes, you probably know their life story, right? It's just the way it is. They have an open life and an open mouth, and they're loud. You can hear a sanguine coming half a mile down the road. They laugh loud, they talk loud. Their clothing is loud. Usually, they like the stripes and the checks and the flowers, and they like loud things. And sanguines lots of times will have, the messy bun hair with it hanging all down, which I love. And they like jewelry, especially stuff that dangles, right? They're just kind of that type of personality. So chances are, if you see somebody that's loud, and they like makeup and getting all done up and whatever, chances are you have a sanguine on your hands. But the key to this is, how do you deal with that sanguine? That's what it's all about. Just knowing that she's a sanguine doesn't really do you any good unless you understand about that personality. Now the visible clues of a choleric, they are intense. They are very intense people. They're very driven. They're very focused. You're not going to see a choleric standing at the water cooler at work having small talk. They have better things to do. It's funny because like I said, I'm choleric, saying my primary personality is a choleric. Every single person has a primary personality with a secondary, maybe a few in the other ones. And I know some of you guys are probably sitting out there thinking, well, I'm all four of those. I think the same way too. I am all four of them now because I've learned to be all four of them. But my primary personality is a choleric and sanguine. I have learned to try and be easygoing. Try and be easygoing. Not easy, trust me. I have tried Excel. I have tried so hard. And I swear to God, if my boss didn't love me so much, he probably would have let me go a long time ago. Because it's just something I just don't get. But that's okay, I have other strengths in other areas, and he's aware of this. I hope, anyway. So getting back to the visible clues. That's what I was trying to tell you, sorry. So the choleric being intense, I'll actually have ladies at work. And they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Edie, you okay? Is everything all right?" I go, "Yeah, why?" And they say, "Well, you look really upset." I say, "I'm in a great mood." Maybe I should start to notify my face a little bit, because get a little intense, right? Now, the visible clue of a melancholy is they are very, unlike the sanguine, remember I said they're opposites, the melancholy has a closed life, and usually a closed mouth. They are very quiet, reserved. They don't want to share a whole lot with people. Sometimes it can take years and years to become close to a melancholy. It really can. And I wish I had more time to tell you story after story after story, but I don't. And the visible clue of a phlegmatic, we all love our sweatpants, right? Everybody does. But these guys really love them. They really, really love the sweatpants. They would live in them all day, every day, if they could, because they're so laid back, they're so easygoing. The t-shirts, the hoodies, they're just so calm. There's such a calmness about them. They are very sweet people. They're very quiet too. They have that relaxed persona about them. So that's the visible clues of the personalities. So now you can kind of identify that, but the secret is knowing what to do with them, really. I want to share a story with you to kind of help you understand the visible clues and how much they can help. I was at work and I had to get some keys cut. I had 7 keys that needed to be cut, 5 for one door and 2 for another door. I thought, no big deal. I'll go right after work. It's on my way home. So I go into the store, and nobody was there, so I pushed the button for somebody to come up and cut my keys. The next thing you know, on the right side of me, I hear, "Hello, how are you today?" And I thought, okay, it's probably an extrovert. So I thought, maybe a sanguine on my hands, we'll see. Because the caller would have come up and says, "What can I do for you? What do you need? Let's get this done," right? So anyway, she come around the corner, and her hair was kind of all wild and crazy, and she had jewelry all over, and I swear she had a ring on every finger, and bright nail polish, and I thought, okay, we got a sanguine here. This could be fun, cutting my keys. So she gets all the blanks out, and she starts cutting the keys, and she's cutting one, and you know how you buff them after you cut them? You know how they buff them so they take off all the... She just went, bzzz, like, you didn't even buff them, just ran them through. I'm like, okay. So she's on about the 2nd or 3rd key, and she says, "I am so excited." I said, "Why?" She says, "Because I get tomorrow off." And I said, "That's great." And she said, "What's really exciting about that is I get to go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning." My idea of excitement's a little bit different. And then she says, "I'm going to come home, I'm going to get my son up, I'm going to take him to school, and then I'm going to come back and get so much housework done." I mean, and I'm thinking, oh, my poor keys, what's happening to my keys? So she's telling me this story. Remember, like I said, they'll tell you everything within the first 5 minutes. She's cutting my key, and she says, "I don't know why this key is not moving." I'm thinking, oh my God. But you know what? I couldn't fault her. I'm not kidding with you, being the strong choleric that I was, I could have thought, you idiot. Why would they hire somebody that doesn't know what they're doing? I can't believe that you're talking so much, but because I know the personalities and I identified right away, I was forgiving of whatever I thought I needed to be forgiven of, right? I understood that. The whole time I'm thinking, I wonder what these keys are going to look like. So we had a great time, though. We had a great time. We were talking back and forth and laughing and having a really good time. So I get to work the next day, and I try to use my keys. One went in, that was good. The second one went in. Out of my 7 keys, 3 worked. I could have been mad. 10 years ago, I probably would have been furious. And that's no word of a lie. So I thought, you know what? That's a sanguine. She just was having a good time. And I kind of had a good time with her. It was lots of fun. So I go back to work. So when the 4 keys wouldn't work, I thought, well, I got to get this done. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm tolerant, but not that tolerant. If this would have happened a second time, I would have been like, okay, I need somebody that's going to do this, right? So I go back the next day, and when I walked up to the counter, there was already somebody up there. And I was so happy because they were a melancholy. The perfect. That's what I think my keys were going to turn out to be. Perfect. I walked up. Hair was in place. Everything was perfect. His uniform was actually, I think, pressed. You know, sometimes they're kind of wrinkly and whatever. And he says, "Can I help you?" And I thought, oh, this is not going to be fun like it was yesterday. So anyway, he took told him about my keys. He took my keys and he cut them. We didn't have not an exchange of one word. But I get that because he's a melancholy. He doesn't want to talk to me. He's just there to do his job. No, I could have been offended because I like to talk to people. And I could have been offended, well, why does he want to talk to me? Right? But when you understand that. So anyway, he finished cutting my keys. He goes, "There you go." And I said, "Thank you." And And I just knew my keys were going to be perfect. I got to work. I tried the 4 keys. Every one of them went in perfectly. So that's the difference. I have a visible clue. But I must say, I did have a lot of fun with the Sanguine, actually. It was a lot of fun. Now, the whole purpose of this, you guys, is there's people in our life everywhere. Whether we're an introvert or an extrovert, even if you're an introvert and you're trying to hide from them, you still work with them. Chances are you have a partner, a spouse. You might have kids. You go to the grocery store. You go to the bank. People are everywhere. So if we can develop an understanding of the other people in our lives, you'll be amazed at your relationships. And I was telling someone the other day that my kids, they're 30. Oh gosh, this is going to sound like I'm old. They're 33 and 35. And I got hold of this concept when they were just 3 and 5. I am so grateful because, seriously, I just kind of wanted to, both of them. Because one's the complete opposite and one's exactly the same. So understanding this was just incredible. So I just want to, I was sitting at home last night getting ready, and I kind of wrote this for you guys, just to give you a little bit of an idea what I'm trying to get across. There are so many people we contact day to day who act very different from the things we do and say. That doesn't mean that they are wrong or you are always right. What it means is you must see inside of them their light. They might be a sanguine, quite loud and won't stop talking, but they are so fun-loving and a blast to take shopping. Maybe they're a choleric and want things done their way, but they are so hardworking, committing every day. They could also be a melancholy who likes research and Excel, who you can always count on to do the job very well. A phlegmatic, they might also be completely content with life. They are so kind and loving and never cause you any strife. Do people drive us crazy? You bet that they do. But if we try and understand, we will have a different view. It takes a lot of patience, and some people can be trying. Just look past those weaknesses, and their strengths will come out flying. I hope that you can try and see the strengths that people have and accept them for who they are, and don't make them feel bad. It would really be a shame to not try and understand. We all have something to offer, and we can walk hand in hand. So as you go forward, I hope that you will study all the information I've provided so you can get along with anybody. Thank you. That was